Hey everybody, this is Tom from Small Scale Life. Well, I'm just driving along here. It's been a good day, heading back home. I just got completed with some work down in the Mississippi River Valley, and on my way home I had a chance to swing by what was our old little farm, Driftless Oaks Farm. If you've been following Small Scale Life for a while, you know that about a year ago, Jules and I sold our little farm that we had for almost 2 years in Maiden Rock, Wisconsin. It just didn't work out with what we wanted to do and the direction we were going in our lives. So we decided to put that dream on a shelf, and we decided to look elsewhere and pivot and go in a different direction. And sometimes you have to do that when it's not quite working out the way you thought, right? So just kind of wrap up a little bit on Driftless Oaks Farm. It was a 10-acre property, about, 4 miles maybe from Plum City, Wisconsin. We were considered Maiden Rock Township, or the town of Maiden Rock. And we weren't on the river. We were up on the bluff, essentially, and surrounded by farms. It's farmland. So the farm was always a dream of mine. I thought we could have this place that would be a great gathering place. And really that was the intention, is to have a cool farm with lots of land where we could hunt it, we could gather there, we could have big family gatherings. And as our family grew, as the boys grew older, that would be the place for them to come. It was a very cool property. I mean, the terrain was rolling. We had 2 gullies on our property. A lot of the farmland drained through our property and would go down to in a valley, or a coulee as we call it in the Driftless, down into the coulee and eventually end up in the Mississippi River. It was very cool. We had old oak trees there, ancient oak trees, probably 200-year-old oak trees, several of them on the property. We had a north woods, we had the south woods. It was kind of like it looked like a pot. The property looked like a pot. It wasn't a big square. It had a square piece, and then it had a panhandle that went out to the south, to the southeast. And yeah, it was a cool property. Lots of woods, lots of box elder trees, some old oak trees. We had a back pasture, 2 back pastures actually, that was divided in a fence. It was once upon a time a dairy farm. Closer to the house, we had the Blue Barn, which was a barn for Icelandic sheep. The previous owner had her Icelandic sheep there, and she had hay and silage and all that good stuff for the sheep in the winter. It had a white barn that was mainly a garden garage, essentially. Had a garage door on it, but part of it was a pen, and a lot of it was for tool storage or material storage. Then we had a chicken coop, and we had a garage, and our house, a little house. Oh, and then the podcast studio, my office. So, yeah, I mean, the idea was, okay, add on to the farmhouse. The farmhouse was pretty small, really small, and had 1 bathroom, and we figured we could add on to that. You know, you see that on HGTV all the time. Half an hour later, Aaron and Ben Napier or whomever has taken this older house that needed some love, lots of love and some money and a project, and they just get her done, and it's beautiful and big and spacious and modern, or not modern, but at least that classic farmhouse, new farmhouse charm. And maybe you find some gifts along the way, like, oh, look at this old shiplap, or look at this woodwork or something. Our little farmhouse had none of that. Absolutely none. It was a pretty utilitarian place. I think, looking at some old aerials from 1940s, I mean, the house was 1900s vintage, but I think there was a section that had been removed in the front of the house at one time. It had been removed and something else was there, maybe a different kitchen and such, because there was like an old well where an old well had been, and it just had a lot of pavers down there. So that section was gone. The section in the back where the kitchen and the bathroom were, that was probably, I don't know, 1950s, 60s maybe? Wasn't very big, and we had our laundry room in our kitchen area, and the kitchen was pretty small. The The eating area was pretty small. It was just pretty small. And we wanted to add on to that thing. But man, the contractors that we brought in, they all looked at us and said, by the time you're done messing around with this old structure, the old foundation and the cellar and all this stuff, you're pretty much better off just bulldozing it and building a new place. Well, that was disheartening. It had electric heat, baseboard heat, super expensive to run in the winter. It was old houses and stuff. So, I mean, the Blue Barn was built in 2017 or 2018. So that was newer construction, but you couldn't just build it out as a home. You would have to make modifications to make it. It was built for agriculture purposes, not for residential purposes. So we couldn't just make it into a barn dough and live in it. We had ideas, we had thoughts. We were getting creative with it to build off of that and make that into a home, but it just nothing seemed to click. And so we did sell. We got the landing up in New Rich. After we sold it, we sold it to a young man who grew up in the area. His parents were from Ellsworth, which is a town just about 15 minutes to the east or west. And his grandparents were in the area, lived in the area, just a few miles away. They had farms on both sides, so that he's more farmer. He was ready for that kind of life, right? We were suburbanites. We weren't ready for that kind of life. I mean, we went from suburb to North Minneapolis. It wasn't exactly farm life, right? I mean, it was a dream, but it wasn't. When we got there and the reality of it, it just was like, holy cow, what is this? What are we doing? Oh my gosh, what do we do with this property? I mean, what do we do with it all? We had no plan. And Adam, Rick, and I were talking about that, about preparing for a life upgrade. We just talked about that in Ant Live 3, the last live stream that we did. And kind of gearing up and preparing for that big life upgrade or big change in our life. We went in with rose-colored glasses, right? We were not ready for what we got and what we were doing. I mean, it was everything from plowing snow to making sure the pipes didn't freeze to working to fighting the little critters, the little mouses and the little squirrels and the birds. I mean, keeping them out of your house. It wasn't really a fight, but it was just trying to button everything up so they wouldn't live with us. I mean, literally live with us. We didn't want that. Dealing with baseboard heat, which was very expensive to run in the winter. There was a lot of elements there. And then the struggle of trying to figure out what to do with this property. We had decided we were going to try to start a You-Pick-'em flower farm and flower business, wedding flower business. But we kind of held up. We waited. And we didn't launch. And thank God we didn't, because 2022 was just a train wreck of a year, with Ryan being in the hospital and almost dying, and then Danny actually passing away. It was overwhelming. And so reality hit us right in the face that, hey, this is not your path. And we had to accept that. And that was easier to accept for some. A little more difficult for someone else whose dream that was my dream, to give that a try. And, it's just funny how it all worked out. So I just drove by there. I was just interested. I was just kind of checking it out because, that's what we do. You sell a property, or you sell a property, or you move away from the property. You kind of go back every once in a blue moon and just, how's that going? What's it look like? What changes have they made? So one of our ancient oaks, we knew she was sick and it wasn't doing well. She died, and that was at the very north end, or in the middle north of our of the white pen, where there had been sheep at one time. So that was a big tree, and that's going to be a massive project to take that tree down. And guess what? I'm super glad I don't have to do it. I mean, it was a great tree, beautiful tree, But oh my gosh, that's going to be one heck of a project. You'll probably have to bring an arborist in and let them do their thing. The other thing, for the first year, there wasn't really any visible changes to the property. But after just driving by, I noticed something. I was looking at it, I was like, oh, there's something odd here. There's some structure that's in where I was working so hard on Operation WW, Woods and Weeds, where I was preparing the front flower garden. We had torn out the planters. We had a very cool pollinator garden up there. We had cleared a lot of space and grassed it. Got it grassed. I was going to put the garden up there, but that didn't work out. So I noticed that there's something there now, and I was looking at it close, and it looks like a little shed with a stovepipe coming out of it. It's like, what the heck is that? I sent a picture over to Jules. I was like, hey, check this out. Zoom in. Check that out. What is that? And she said, oh, do you think they put in wood-fired heat? Well, hot damn. I think that's exactly what they did. I think that's what they did. So we had put in a new septic system right after we sold. So part of the proceeds of the sale went to put in a new septic system. So where the old septic system is, those lines were abandoned and all that stuff. And I have no idea what they did to the old septic tank. I don't really care. But I noticed when I was looking at it, he has a plow truck. The new guy has a plow truck there parked like right where the septic tank used to be. And then it wasn't a mound system, it was an in-ground system. So he had his plow truck there, and then there was a structure. And so, yeah, that's exactly what he did. Instead of the baseboard heat, which is super expensive to run, it looks like he put in wood-fired heat. And maybe he used the same lines or the same area that the sewer pipe, came right in. Maybe he did it there, I don't know, to bring the lines into the house. Sure, that's a good idea. Why the heck didn't I think of that? Seriously, duh. So, I guess where I'm going with this is, in the end, I thought we were ready to, conquer the world and do this farm thing and be farmers and all that stuff. I had no clue. We had no clue what we were doing. We were not ready. We didn't have that mindset, We are great urban, suburban people. I'm a gardener. I'm not a livestock dude. So I'm a gardener guy. This is what I do. And I do projects around the house. I do all kinds of stuff, but that was just overwhelming, and I did not have the skill set or experience or the connections to really troubleshoot and come up with an idea for that place. And these people do. They are from that background. They live it. They love it. They were super excited to have that property, and I am just super thrilled that they are doing it. I couldn't see any other changes. Nosy Rosie here, right? So, and I'm way up at the county road, so I wasn't driving in the property. It's private property. I'm not driving in there. So, it was just really interesting, and it just is like putting that final nail in the coffin, or final nail into the final nail in the coffin. We were there for a very short season. We learned some valuable lessons. Now we're being taught some new lessons that, hey, you have strengths and skills. Being a farmer and living that kind of lifestyle is not one. It's okay. We're really good at other things. And I think that's, sometimes we get ideas in our head and we think, oh, we can do anything. We can do this. We can, we can do whatever we want. And you can, you can really work hard at it and be patient and keep practicing. That's mastery, right? Is practice over and over and over and master something, and master a skill. But that was overwhelming. And now I see that it's great for some folks, but that's just not us. The landing is perfect for us. It's great for us. And I'm just shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm just like, that's a solution. I'm an engineer. I should have thought of that. What the heck? But it takes audacity. It takes experience. It takes skill. It takes some money. We had the money. It just, we just didn't have the skills or audacity to do that. So learned something learned a great lesson there. And, as far as, I hope that's working out. I hope that is the right solution. And I think he loves it. I mean, it's just, it's going to be so much better to run, and there is so much wood on the ground, and we had left him a ton of oak. I mean, really nice seasoned oak. He's got so much oak on the ground, and box elder and other trees on the ground there. I mean, I had 100 years of wood cutting there, and he's got 100 years of wood cutting there. He just has to get out there and do it, just to the stuff that's fallen down, not of cutting some of that other wood. And if it's one of those wood burning systems, man, that thing can burn anything. So what a good idea. What a good idea. Good on him. Great job. But on this other side, it does change the aesthetics of the place, because I was like, look at that over there. It looks like a smokehouse. But it's changed the aesthetics of the place. It doesn't look like how we left it. And that's totally cool, totally fine. But it's like, all right, this image of the little cute farmhouse and the cool flower garden, and the overwhelming flower garden, but the flower garden, now it's a parking lot for his plow truck, and the wood yard, I'm sure there's lots of wood there. His wood heater, I mean, it's totally changed. So, yep, there you go. Final nail in the coffin. Lessons learned. Got to have the audacity, the experience, the skills, the tenacity. Good on him. Good job. That's awesome. I hope it really works out. So, yeah. So, I think the other lesson is we're right where we need to be. And we're in a great spot. The landing is awesome. I'm really super excited to really improve what we've got, and it's manageable. I don't have acres and acres and acres of stuff to do. I have a half acre, and that is a lot, actually. And we can really we've made this place shine. We'll make it shine even better. We're gonna add some things to really make it start working for us. The comfrey, the strawberries, the rhubarb, some of these things. And it'll be beautiful. We've got lots of flowers and wildflowers and, stuff that we don't need to maintain and weed, and it's just going to grow and come back and grow more. And that's really what you want. Doing work and weeding all the time is not what you want. It's taking away from your life path. I mean, weeding is just, it's a time suck, and you don't want to be doing that with your whole life. So there's other things you can do that are more productive, right? So good lessons learned there. Good lessons. Sometimes you're just not the farmer. And that's okay, right? That is okay. And heading home. It's going to be a good day. If you haven't checked out the Adam and Tom live, you should. That we're on episode 3. You can listen to it on the Small Scale Life podcast on any streaming app. You can also see it on the Small Scale Life YouTube channel. It was really cool to have great people like Greg Burns from Nature's Image Farm, my friend Mr. Tactical J, Rebecca. Ooh, there's an eagle right over there. Dang, really cool. Right over there. Must have been something yummy that he's eating on. So that makes 9 eagles today. You get to see a lot when you're down in the Mississippi River Valley. yeah, some really cool people checked in. That was awesome. Take a listen. We're doing it every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central. We're doing it. We're going to get into starting small business stuff. I guess I'm going to be the test case here, where we're going to talk about first the gig economy, then we're going to start getting into gig economy and side hustles, and then we're going to get into side hustles and finding your passion. So we've got like the next 3 shows planned out, and they're going to be pretty good. So I'm really excited about it, because who knows what we're going to come out of this, right? So I have a feeling I know what is going to come out of this, but I guess I'm going to be the test case here, because Adam's already got a business. In fact, he's got a couple of them, and he's a very busy guy. So this will be good. I'm excited, and check that out. So onward and upward. This is a little bonus video, a bit of bonus podcast for you, just about lessons learned in farming and all that kind of stuff. So chase your dream. Don't be afraid to pivot. Learn the lessons and keep moving forward, right? So this is Tom from Small Scale Life. Remember to learn, do, grow, be a little better every day. Thanks for tuning in. Get a little bonus, a little extra podcast. And I really am excited to do some single stuff, and then do the dual stuff, you know what I mean, do the lives, and then also do some just regular old Tommy Cakes talking to you. So learn, do, grow, be a little better every day. We'll talk to you real soon. This is Tom. Take care, everybody.